Hi there, my name is Heidi Williams. I'm the mayor of the city of Thornton. Thank you for joining us for Thornton Now. This is a brand new television show that we are doing to interview different people in our community and let you know what's happening here in the city of Thornton. Today we have Greg Moss with the Metro North Chamber of Commerce with us. He used to be with Channel 9 News, so you probably recognize him from there. But he's now our executive director of the Metro North Chamber of Commerce, and he has some exciting news to share with you if you haven't already heard. He has now started the City of Thornton Chamber of Commerce, and we want to hear more about that from him.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm your second guest?
Yes.
You were the first guest.
I was the first guest, yes.
So this is quite the honor.
Yes.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on the show, too.
Thank you.
And we love Thornton. This is a great community, and you know better than I, it's just growing rapidly and in smart ways, so thanks for your leadership. And we are excited about the launch of the official Thornton Chamber of Commerce, and I have to say, in full transparency, this was actually an idea that you and I kind of cooked up, more you than I. I think my second week as being the president and CEO of the Metro North Chamber, we had lunch and introducing myself, and you go, hey, by the way, have you ever thought of starting a Thornton Chamber? And it just kind of rolled from there. And so we do now have a community chamber within a regional chamber, which is kind of an unusual model, but we're very excited about it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Never take me to lunch if you don't want me to throw out these great big ideas for you to implement.
And she'll hold you to them, too.
And I think you paid for the lunch too, that was great.
I did. Boy, have I paid for that lunch. No, it's great.
Yeah, I think it'll be an amazing opportunity for our community. You know, we're the largest city in Adams County, one of the larger cities in the Metro North, or in the metro area, excuse me. And it really was time for us to kind of branch out on our own. But that's a big adventure for a city to take on, and so it made much more sense for you all to do that and to take that on, and I think you'll do a much better job.
Well, it's a great partnership, I should point out. So it's a partnership with the city. We work very closely with economic development. We work very, very closely with BTAC, which is Businesses of Thornton Advisory Commission, and those are all made up of community members and business owners, and it's been really great to also get some other community members involved. So as the Metro North Chamber, we have close to 350 members just in the city of Thornton alone. Wow. So that's huge, and we've invited them all to kind of join us as we co-create the mission and vision of the Thornton Chamber, and we've got BTAC involved, and of course your input, and City Council and economic development. And you know what's fun is it's unfolding in a kind of an organic way, but it's pretty special to see that happen. So, you know, we have obviously great opportunities for people to get involved as members, but one of the things that we leaned into right away, Mayor Williams, as you know, is that we didn't want to exclude anyone from this. And because this is a community chamber, we can kind of control this ourselves and try some new things out. We have a free membership for any business. So they can partake in the chamber activities and what we do, and have listings and referrals and things of that nature for no cash investment at all. And then if you want to get some more benefits out of it and get involved with other things, we certainly have that opportunity. But it's been wonderful to welcome people into that fold, because that's what it's all about, supporting people.
It really is. I know when I had my business, it was really expensive for me to fork out the money to join the chamber, and then to have time to go to everything and make the most of your membership. So I think that coming in and knowing that you don't have to do that upfront cost, making sure it's a good fit for your business,
that's key.
It's really key. And so really appreciate you offering that to our businesses, and I know they're very excited about having that opportunity to make their businesses visible, right? Because that's what it's all about.
That's completely what it's all about. We exist to help people connect, to help people grow, and help people learn. We obviously do a lot of events, but we make sure that our events have a purpose to them. So it's, you know, maybe a business after hours or a leads group, which all are important in the mix of things, but it's also events connecting them with you or other city officials or leaders in the community to offer lessons, offer resources, because as you know, there's lots of resources out here. Many of them are free, but people just don't know about them. So it's about that connectivity.
Well, I think it's good too. I think it's good for city officials to be able to go to those events, meet the people in the community. We don't always have the time to get out there. Most of us have a second job or maybe a first job, depending on that. Yeah, and so it's nice to be able to have that venue in which to, you know, connect with our constituents and our business owners. And I've had people at those events come up to me and say, hey, Mayor, I have this problem, or I have this question. And it's just a great way for me to connect with them and them to me. So I really appreciate all of your events, and have since I became the mayor, I've always loved them. And
we love having you there. It's a great opportunity. And speaking of events, what we're doing in the Thornton Chamber is really taking a look at what can we do specifically for Thornton, almost exclusive types of events. We'll open them up region-wide. I mean, if anybody wants to come to them, we won't exclude them from that. But it's really fun to hone in on, you know, specific business after hours in a Thornton business that people may not know about. But more importantly, we've got a really interesting event coming up in October in partnership with North Suburban Medical Center, which is in Thornton, obviously. We're doing a Thornton a day in partnership with 9 News and the Health Fair. It's a health and awareness and safety festival.
Oh, great.
So it'll be a half day on a Saturday coming up in October. It's the first time that the 9 Health Fair has been back in Thornton in a little over 11 years, believe it or not. We're looking forward to having over 700 people attend for screenings, free, low cost. We're going to have the Thornton Fire Department, EMS services out there, police departments. We're going to give away some bike helmets through a grant program. We've got all kinds of things planned for that. And you haven't been invited yet, but you will be.
I hope so, because I would love to be there.
It's getting on your calendar soon.
That's great. Well, I think it's wonderful to have that educational component to your events. I think it helps connect people to the hospital and the emergency services as well, so they're comfortable calling and letting people know when there's an issue. And of course, getting helmets on people when they're riding their bikes, as that continues to be a very big recreational hobby in the city of Thornton, but also in Colorado. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's all about business and community and how we combine the two and connect them. So
Great.
that's great.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Hi there, welcome back to Thornton Now. My name is Heidi Williams. I am your mayor, City of Thornton mayor, and I'm here with Greg Moss, the executive director of the Metro North Chamber of Commerce. And we've been discussing the new Thornton Chamber of Commerce, which we're very excited about. And now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about something that I really care a lot about. As you know, I work for the Colorado Women's Chamber of Commerce. That's my other job. Most people don't know mayors have more than one job, but most of us do.
You have 3 or 4, I think.
I have several, but those are these are my 2 primary jobs. But you all are doing an event called the Women of Metro North, and that's at the end of August. I'd love to hear more about that event and what you hope to accomplish with that.
Well, as you know, and we, by the way, we look forward to partnering with the Women's Chamber on this event too, and we're going to make sure that happens. But it's this area, this region where we are, north of I-70 all the way up to Highway 19. If you just look at the geographic area, it's huge. And I don't know if you knew this, but when I pulled some of the records and looked at the statistics, we have more elected officials and women in leadership positions in government and other important community organizations in this northern region than anywhere else in the state of Colorado.
That's fantastic.
It's amazing. And when we look at women business owners and CEOs and those in the C-suite area, although in general it's still lacking, and that's a challenge we all need to address, but we still have a higher percentage than other parts of the metro area. And when we look at what kind of services we are offering as far as women in business leadership training, networking, connecting, and that sort of thing, it's what the Women's Chamber is doing, what the Metro North Chamber is very committed to doing as well, is leaning into that and offering more support. So this event is going to be a kickoff to what we hope is many more gatherings and really call to action of how we can support women in business and leadership. We're going to have 5 different awards in different categories. We are also going to have a powerful guest speaker who is, we haven't quite signed the dotted line yet, but I can tell you she's verbally committed to it. She is a sensation on the internet. She talks about overcoming fear in the workplace and in your personal life. She has been on all the major networks and has gone viral with her 100 Days of Overcoming Fear challenge. We're going to have a panel of women leaders from our community, both at we're actually starting in the millennial generation and kind of moving on up to the more mature generation. And it's going to be a really fun evening. It's very relaxed. It's going to be at the Waymire Dorm in Adams County. Heavy hors d'oeuvres and some, wine, and just a great way to network, but also listen and be inspired.
Well, if there's wine, I'm definitely going to be there.
I know. Fried food for me, wine for you. It's a great combination.
It's a great combination.
Can't go wrong.
That's wonderful. Well, I think it's wonderful that you're really leaning into that. I think that all of the chambers should really be doing that and focusing on, these emerging leaders. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and she's an emerging leader. I mean, it's just obvious that she's going to do something great. And I really get concerned that we have a lot of women out there that are very, very talented and very, very able to do these leadership positions, but it's hard. I have 3 children, one of whom is out of the house, but I still have my other 2 younger children at home, and it's hard to be a mom and a mayor and have a full-time job and all of the things that you have to juggle. And so I think that a lot of women say, well, I don't really want to go to that C-suite because they're not going to have the support, or they don't feel like they're going to have the support, especially in corporate America. And so the more that we can educate, our male counterparts and our, our CEOs that are already there, and help them figure out that it might look different, but I think they're going to see really amazing results for their companies and for their organizations when there's more women in leadership. And so I appreciate you taking that on. Sure.
Well, we see the difference. We think it's very important for a successful business climate and a community environment as well. And the important piece that you just pointed out there was it is not just for women. This is about educating men as well about the importance in the workplace, gender equality, pay equality, that sort of thing that gets a lot of buzz, but what are we really doing about it? And I think that's what's really important. This is not just a one-off event.
Great.
We really want to use this as a launching pad for partnerships with the Women's Chamber, perhaps some other nonprofit organizations, and listen to the community about what they want and need, and how can we fill those gaps and work together and collaboratively address these challenges.
Yeah, I think we have to do that as a region for sure. I mean, I think we can do that at the city with different events. I think the chambers definitely have to step up, the Women's Foundation and other organizations that are geared towards that, because women can't do it alone, right? We have to step up to the plate, but so do the guys. The guys are in more leadership positions. I think in Colorado, we only have 14% of women in CEO or C-suite positions, and so it's really important that we get this message out. I'm glad that we'll be able to partner on that. I will say that on the City of Thornton City Council, we have 5 women, which is the majority. That's happened twice since I've been the mayor. So in the past 7 years, we've had a majority twice, which is really kind of fabulous. And actually at Metro Mayor's Caucus, when I first got there, it was about 20-25% women. It's inching up to that 30-40% now, and so it's really wonderful. We're really seeing more women getting engaged, getting involved, and saying, I can do that too. And so, hopefully I can be a role model for somebody to,
you definitely are.
To say like, hey, you can do it. It's not easy, but nothing worth doing is easy, right?
Well, in that role model piece, you said your daughter's what, 13?
She's going to be,
She's going to be 13, so that's a really critical age to inspire and empower and also introduce these concepts like you can do this. And you can, if you want to, you can get involved with a STEAM perhaps go into a job that's science, technology, engineering, arts, or math related. And we're going to be talking a lot more about STEAM and STEM and that sort of thing. So it's really critical to reach back into the schools. So I will tell you that we're partnering with our districts in our region. So there are 6 school districts that we serve. Adams 12, of course, the big one here in serving Thornton.
We have 4.
You have
in
4
Thornton.
districts now?
We do, yeah.
Oh yeah,
14. Yeah.
Yes, all of those.
So 27J,
27,
12, Mapleton, and 14.
And all of them will be participating. We've asked their leadership classes over the summer to pull at least 2 students who can come complimentary with their teacher so that we can introduce them to these leaders and start networking a little bit on their own and hopefully get engaged.
My kids go to the STEM school right down the street.
So well, I'm
a huge proponent, right, of STEM and for sure, what the schools are doing. And, they're not only focused on science and tech, but that's a component. It's something the kids have to take to introduce that to them. And I think that's great for girls too, because a lot of times, like when I was in high school, my friends were taking drafting, but they were all the guys, right? Like I had 1 or 2 girls that were taking drafting, and the rest of us were like, why are you taking that? Because we didn't, we were never told we should try something new, right? So I think it's great. Oh yeah, totally, we should. So thank you for hosting that event. We're looking forward to it.
You can go to our website, metronorthchamber.com, for a lot more information and
nominate women.
Nominate. We've got 5 different categories. We want to hear from you.
That's wonderful.
Really important.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you.
We'd like to remind you that all fireworks are illegal in the city of Thornton. You may not know that somebody living in your neighborhood has extreme issues with fireworks being lit off near their home. Thornton heard from veterans and veterans groups about the difficulties fireworks being lit off in neighborhoods cause to these veterans.
Yeah, a lot of these veterans were POWs and in combat to the point where anything will trigger them. I'd like everybody to respect veterans during this coming holiday of 4th of July and just be respectful, be good to your fellow veteran residents.
Pet owners also know all too well the problems fireworks can cause for their pets.
These dogs are my family. It hurts me and breaks my heart when I can't do anything for them. They just get totally freaked out. They run around. They try to find a place to hide, and they can't do it. And I know other people's dogs have hard times too with the fireworks. All I'm asking is that you be respectful of pets and the people in your community, because some of them don't care for all the booms and everything also.
So we're asking you, please be thoughtful and not light off fireworks in neighborhoods in Thornton this year.
Wouldn't it be great if you had a way to let Thornton know when a pothole suddenly appears? Or when other issues in the city need attention? Like a streetlight going out, or some broken concrete on a sidewalk. Now there is. It's an app for your mobile phone called My Thornton. Just tap the app and you can report dozens of issues directly to Thornton staff. You can also get updates on the issue as it gets resolved.
So I think I've got everything I need. Do you want to stop for lunch or something?
Yeah, that sounds great, but I'm not really sure what's around here. Do you know?
Well, in Thornton, when we have this question, we tap the app, the My Thornton app.
Thornton information is literally just a tap away with the new My Thornton app. City information, news, restaurants, and more are all at your fingertips. Just visit the App Store for your Android or iPhone and search for Thornton. There you will find the My Thornton app. Download and install the app and you are ready to find information about city events, shopping, news, and you can communicate with City Hall about issues 24/7. Just tap the app.
Hi there. Again, my name's Heidi Williams. I'm the mayor of the city of Thornton. I'm here with Greg Moss, the executive director with the Metro North Chamber of Commerce. And we're just talking about our new Thornton Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Metro North Chamber of Commerce and a lot of the new initiatives that Greg has brought with his new leadership. So let's hear a little bit more about what's going on.
Well, you know, the Metro North Chamber has been around since 1959.
Wow.
It's a well-established brand, long-term commitment to this community. But, you know, when we started looking about 6 or 7 months ago about what do we need to do to shift and change with the times, it was clear that the Chamber of old is not going to be the chamber of the future. So
Right.
for the last few months, we have really deep dived and done something called the voice of the ecosystem, which is basically you go out and you talk to as many people as you can, in person, online, surveys. We did over 187 written surveys, 37 face-to-face hour-long conversations, small, medium, large companies, current members, former members, never want to be a member, we think you're terrible, you know, go away,
Yeah.
Former members. But it gave us a really good insight into what the Chamber of the Future should be like.
Great.
Yeah, it's been fascinating.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I know we do that at the Women's Chamber too. We've said,
Yeah.
you know, we don't need our old-fashioned traditional Chamber of Commerce anymore. We have LinkedIn, meetup groups. You don't have to
Very
pay to
common.
belong to those. And so, you know, what is our role? And I agree with you. I think that is education and leadership training. And so talk a little bit about some of those initiatives you have coming up.
Well, to a T, we came out with about 3 or 4 different initiatives that we want to lean into in the coming months. And all of those kind of fit under these centers that we're establishing, not necessarily physical centers, although one of them might be, but more programmatic centers. So it's the Center for Leadership, because by far, both our medium and large size primary employers said we need help with the soft skills. You know, technical skills are one thing, but it's hard to keep up with those. We can handle those. Help us with leadership training, emerging leaders, pipelines into the high schools, and so that's what a lot of our leadership training in the future will be. A Center for Business Advocacy, which we do a lot of advocacy at the State House now, but how do we increase that and shift that and enhance it to the federal level and even more in the municipal level, maybe at the City of Thornton? But also, how do we become more of a voice for businesses and help them with their primary challenges right now, which, as you know better than I, transportation is a huge concern for a lot of people. Affordable or accessible housing is another one, but by far it is workforce attraction and retention. We are at almost full employment now in this region, and we can't find enough workers to fill just about any sector. So
Correct.
help us do that. We've got some really exciting initiatives there. And then finally, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. We have a very vibrant entrepreneur community here. in Thornton especially, but a lot of them need help and support. And so we're looking at establishing and bringing a national program here through a strategic partnership. We're working on the funding right now, and we're very close to announcing that, but it's called the E for All program, which is Entrepreneurship for All. It is an accelerator program that works with people for 16 to 18 months, both in a cohort of about 30 other entrepreneurs. So they partner, they mentor each other, but we connect them through classroom, business planning, marketing planning, all of that. But then we help them with shared workspace, co-working space, maybe some incubator space. That's going to be really exciting when we get that off the ground.
That's wonderful. I know the shared workspace is really popular downtown and is really emerging around the suburbs. And so I'm really hoping that somebody will come and build a little bit more here in Thornton. It's really important. I know overhead is so hard for a business owner. The major thing that I always dealt with was cash flow, right? And so if you're not paying $5,000 or $6,000 a month in rent, when you could really just need a small office and a conference room that's shared with everyone, it's not wasted space, and it makes so much more sense.
Exactly, and you could rack up $4,000 to $6,000 a month very easily in this environment that we're in right now, and also connecting people, especially in that very startup phase, with accounting help, marketing support, just answering the phone support, admin support, and things of that nature, and copiers and things of that nature. How can we help you with that overhead, like you said, and give you a leg up and make you successful?
For sure, and I think the other thing that it does is it brings like-minded people together, right? And so they usually have a social component in those shared workspaces where people can get together after work, maybe have a cocktail and just talk about their day and bounce stuff off of each other. I find that for me, the best thing I can ever do is sit down with another mayor and say, here are the challenges we're having. What have you done? And share ideas.
Those best practices.
For sure. And so I think that's wonderful. So to all my developer friends out there, please come bring some of that to Thornton. We really need it.
I tell you what, it is important. And we've got some great partners in this initiative, SBDC, Small Business Development Center, the Minority Business Office, Anythink Libraries. We are pulling in the economic development offices in the municipalities that we're targeting. Thornton is going to be one of those. And some developers have come forward and said, look, I might have some space I can donate you for a temporary opportunity. More to come on this, but we're targeting launching this in the first quarter of 2019.
Well, I'm very excited about that. I think this is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. And
it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me today.
Your second guest.
I'm your second guest. I was my first guest. Actually, I was Todd's guest. So
I see. Okay.
Todd's sitting out there in the audience listening.
Right,
but yeah, thank you for being here. Thornton, thank you for tuning in, as Todd called it, although we know you're actually watching it whenever you feel like it since it's online. But thank you for being here, and please make sure to check out our community calendar as well as the Metro North Chamber's website for their community calendar. Thank you again, and have a great one.